here we are a few weeks later, and we're already talking about the first acquisition that's being finalized here in the near term, and the fact they've already launched an LOI. I can't wait to get into that, but the point is, Mark is going right after it. I mean, he said something, he's doing it, and that's something you need to look for when investing in an OTC company.
Thank you.
Oh, people in the house from New Mexico. Awesome.
Okay.
T-Rick, I appreciate it, man.
More people.
We all try to get,
Yeah, more people are coming. So, okay. Do you want me to bring you up to date, or are you ready for that, or?
Oh, no. Hold on one second. I'm trying to get people in the room at the present moment.
Sure.
So let me DM a few people,
Okay.
and then they'll post. We want everybody to hear what you have to say about this.
Okay. Happy to do so.
So, how long has it been since we talked? 2, 3 weeks?
I think at least, yeah, it might be 3 weeks. Yeah, 2, 3 weeks. Wasn't that long ago.
So I heard you've been really busy since then.
A little bit, yeah. I got, the old saying that if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it, right?
Yeah,
There's always
agreed.
things that happen. There's always things that you need to do. Acquiring a company while the company is, operating is a challenge. We also want to relocate the company. That's another challenge. And orders are coming in, and we have lots of orders that we need to fill. And we expect to show some good results. I would say in second quarter, you're going to see a lot more. We have transition issues, obviously, first quarter, but second quarter, I'm going to be excited about reporting those results. But right now, we're in the thick of it, and we hope to complete the acquisition the next 2 or 3 weeks. So, but yeah, we've been busy to answer your question.
I looks like it. I see the stock is starting to get a little bit of action now after being quiet for so long. I noticed you're trading up 14 cents already.
Yeah, and I think when things are complete, I would like to think that that kind of value would be positive for the stock. We don't trade every day. We are starting to trade.
Not yet.
Not yet, but we are trading more and more. We expect a little bit more, some more shares to go into the float. We got a very low float. That's probably part of it. We also have a lot of people holding stock who don't want to let go of the stock. You can only trade if there are.
That's a good thing. That's not a problem to have. That's a blessing right
That's
there.
fine. We want long players, but if you don't have a lot of stock in the float and the people who own it, who have free trading shares, don't want to sell it, then you're not going to have a lot of trading activity. So
Well, just so everybody knows, looking at the stock structure right now on OTC markets, which is up to date to the day, the total authorized shares on RENI are 100 million. Total outstanding is only 20,158,077 shares.
Right.
And held to DTC, Shido's favorite number, is 4,550 shares. That's a tight float.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And they're currently over 390 shareholders.
Probably a little over 400 by now, but yeah, we're right in that range. You're right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the questions. I know people will join as we go, and even if there's not a huge showing in the room, there's going to be a lot of replays and a lot of people that are going to want to be here to hear what you have to say. So no worries there.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the LOI that you just put a press release out about recently?
Sure. I believe last Wednesday, we issued a press release. I'm sorry, announcing our a letter of intent to acquire Challenger Aerospace and Defense, which puts us in the drone business. It's got applications on the energy side, but like we said on the last time I spoke to you, we're looking for companies that can stand on their own and could complement the energy business. But this is a company that's been around for a while. They primarily focus on surveillance and reconnaissance type of technology. They've been doing business for a while with a lot of government entities, a lot of commercial entities that are blue chip companies that people would hear about. And we're very excited about the proprietary technology that we're acquiring with this acquisition.
There's a lot of different things you can do with a drone. Can you share some of the different aspects or uses for a drone and ways that it can bring money into the company?
Well, we're focusing, or the company has focused historically on mapping services, as well as creating sensors and sensor platforms for surveillance and reconnaissance. And this has applications for border security, local law enforcement, the military, for example, where we may extend its application in the energy business to examine oil fields and pipelines and things like that, which is very cost effective compared to the way they used to do it before. They literally used to fly airplanes over pipelines. Now that's all being done with drones. So, the technology's there. We have it now. We're about to have it. And it's basically whatever we create in our minds, then we give the assignment to the engineers and they try to build it. But the uniqueness of this company is they have proprietary mapping technology and surveillance technology, which makes this attractive. We've done business. This company's done business domestically. We're getting overseas orders with some of our friends, and it's all in the area of surveillance and reconnaissance, or most of it is in the area of surveillance and reconnaissance. It's not just flying drones; it's drones that can move on the water, can move on land. So it's a varied product line, which we like.
Hold on, you're saying that you guys already have existing pipeline of clients and orders coming in?
Yeah, we have the pipeline right now is I haven't looked at it today, but I believe it's north of about $3 million and growing. I know an order came in, I believe, yesterday from a foreign country.
Annually or quarterly?
I'm sorry?
Annually or quarterly?
What's annually or quarterly?
The revenue.
Quarterly.
When you say 3 million quarterly, okay.
Well, that's currently in the pipeline. It usually from the time we get an order to the time it goes out the door, well, it would vary depending on the order, but usually takes about 2 to 3 months. So
I'll wait 2 to 3 months for $3 million
will be out
from
the
a
door
company
in
that's been
3
dormant.
months. I'm sorry?
I said I'll wait 2 or 3 months for $3 million to be enacted in a company that's been dormant. That's a catalyst.
Yeah. No, it's things are really going now, and we're getting busy. We expect to grow exponentially over the next few years. We love this company, so it's very exciting. And if you stay, focus on our website, resilientenergyinc.com. Very soon, when the acquisition's complete, you'll have a link to the Challenger Aerospace and Defense website, and you can follow exactly what we're doing. We hope to have some major announcements when we get some nice orders in, so people will be able to follow what we're doing. But like you said in the beginning of this show, we set out a goal, and we're going forth with completing that goal.
And kudos to you for doing so. I mean, that will go a long ways with shareholders and investors that are looking at your company as an investment.
Yeah, I mean, this is our launch year, and we're getting this. And I said originally we have a couple acquisitions we're looking at in the first quarter. This is our first one. We hope to have an oil and gas acquisition before the end of the quarter, hopefully. Certainly an announcement about that. And we expect revenues beginning in second quarter. We're kind of putting our out there for the investors, saying we intend to be profitable in first quarter 2025. But like I said to you before, our goal is really to cut that time down, and I think we can be profitable before then. but it won't be later than that. And we're not looking for acquisitions that won't be cash positive in the short term. If somebody wants to come into our company, if we look at an acquisition, they say, well, if we make this investment, you'll be profitable in 3 or 4 years. We're not interested. We're looking to cash flow immediately.
Yeah, you want a business that's already up, operating, has existing infrastructure and capability of not having to plug and play new employees and people running it, but already have those things in place that you can bring in. That makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
Now, with this drone company, do they already have some big name clients?
They do. I don't know if I'm at liberty to say what those clients are now, but I will say on the government side, we've done business with the company's done business with multiple government entities, including the border police, state and local police departments have put in orders over the coming years. They put in some new orders. We do some businesses with that have intelligence applications, I'll say. We had an overseas client come in today for the government of Colombia. Was put in an order, as I understand it. I haven't seen the invoices yet, but yeah, if I think Britain is also a good client. So we have a lot of important entities, significant clients that are looking to this company for their product. And that's one of the attractions of it. They seek us out, in fact. So,
well, hopefully I'm not too forward leading in this, but do you also have some blue chip companies that are clients of your acquisition?
They've had clients in the past. I don't know what's in the pipeline now with them, but I can tell you in the past from reviewing some of these clients, Bell Helicopter was one. Airbus is another. These were past clients. I see no reason why we wouldn't do business with them in the future. Not all of our sales would be in the area of drones. Part of our acquisition includes Aerocomputers, a company called Aerocomputers, as well as Challenger Mission Systems, and sometimes just the technologies bought, which they will apply to their own platforms. So, we're just excited about this company because we can scale it. Let me put it that way. We can really scale up what we want to do. There's no limits on the amount of sales we can do and the amount of product we can produce.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but you can see those are the types of clients we deal with: blue chip companies as well as government entities. They all pay. So, which we like.
The LOI mentions 2 other subsidiaries. Now, you touch base. What were those again, and shed a little bit of light on exactly what they do?
Well, Aerocomputers has to do with the mapping systems, and
Okay.
Challenger Mission Systems has to do with sensors and sensor platforms in terms of intelligence gathering. Our engineer can basically talk about it a little bit more intelligently than I can talk about it. But all I can tell you is sometimes the orders come in, they don't want the drone, they want the technology, and we sell those technologies to them. They put them on their own platforms. But the products basically have to do with, as you can tell, just recording information, being able to fly around, map the ground. There's various benefits to that, and the extent by which we could gather intelligence from a flyover is something that somebody else would have to discuss in more detail than me.
Can that mapping technology be used in the oil and gas industry to map out oil fields?
Sure, absolutely. It does have domestic applications.
Sounds like you have a few different ways you can utilize what you're buying to generate income and bring in the bottom line of the company.
Yeah, like I said, it's really up to our imagination. We look at the features and benefits of the product, and then we just say, where can we apply this? And you're only limited by your imagination, quite frankly. Some people looked at drones and said, "Why, we can deliver pizza with that." Now, an engineer didn't come up with that. Some crazy guy decided we can deliver pizza with that. Now, whether it works or not, I don't think it's a good idea. But this is where this is where the imagination comes in. So, we're in the business of reconnaissance and surveillance, and it's not just a security issue or a law enforcement issue or a force multiplier. It does have applications. Oil fields tend to be over large areas. Pipelines extend for miles. You can't always cover these things with airplanes and pickup trucks. You want to be able to get to look at something very quickly, and sending a drone out there is a good way to cover a lot of area in a short period of time. And you can monitor from a command center, for example. Multiple.
It cuts down on fuel costs. It cuts down on manpower and labor. There's a lot of things that it makes more efficient.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to do this with with the slow way by sending people out, in a pickup truck, or do you want to use an expensive airplane, or do you want to use $150,000 drone that you can just fly over in a few minutes and see what's going on? So it's hugely cost effective. It's a great product. It's a great way to do it.
I was actually reading that they won Aerospace Company of the Year. So you're seriously acquiring a company it's not just some random drone company, but they won Aerospace Company of the Year. Can you tell us anything about that?
Not much. I can tell you that they've won many awards. They've been honored by the governor of Nevada and various entities for their work over the years. That was the one award that you cited is one of those awards. It has to do with their contribution to national security and to the industry and to business in Nevada. The various awards recognize them for various things. But yeah, this is a real company with a great following. The president of Challenger is a man by the name of Leroy Adang, and he's done great work with that company. He's an engineer with decades and decades of experience. And if you sit down with him for an hour or two, your mind will just explode. I mean, the guy's knowledge, the guy's knowledge is incredible. And if I misspoke about something, in this interview, I apologize. But he could talk about the products for probably months on end and give a better explanation than I can. I'm the business guy.
So here's my next question:
Yeah.
Are you going to retain him on board once the company's acquired?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. He's an integral part of our of this company going forward. He'll be running the division as president of that division. He's staying on board, and we're lucky to have him.
Now, so how close are we getting to finalizing this acquisition?
I'm hoping that happens in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
And that's a reasonable expectation, right?
Yes. Yes, it is. If it goes 4 weeks, I apologize, but right now the goal is 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, how do you plan on growing the company and boosting sales?
We are basically going to increase marketing and sales staff. We have various entities that act as agents for the company, over some domestically, one domestically, 2 overseas. We may try to get other representation overseas to be able to sell the product. You can't just ramp up production if you don't have sales. So we really want to ramp up the marketing efforts a lot, and that's what we're going to do. It's going to be a growing process, but with orders in place, we're going to have the revenue, I believe, to do exactly that. We'll be adding people as the year goes on and try to extend our sales. And like I said, our hopes for this company is to grow exponentially.
Well, you've done this very quickly. I'm really excited to see the movement you've made on what you told everybody you were going to do. If I remember correctly, you said you have more than one acquisition lined up. So I would venture to guess that after this one's wrapped up, you're already moving on the second one, right?
Well, we're not waiting for this one to be wrapped up. We're already moving on other properties, and this is in
Oh, wow.
our main business, which is oil and gas, and we're looking at several properties now, and we're expecting to get some commitments soon on the funding of these acquisitions. They will involve oil and gas properties in the lower 48, as we say. Specifically, we're looking at Louisiana for these first couple properties, in areas that have historically have had great production, and they're right in our model. They're going to be vertical plays, fairly shallow, low cost, low maintenance, and
they'll already be producing.
these properties are in producing areas. I think the property we're buying in this particular case is going to be some more new development, but it's in an area that has a lot of production. There's a whole history behind this particular area, but yes, there's a lot of known production in this area. The formations are well known, and we're just going to get some initial production out of some of these initial wells. I think the first project is going to be maybe we're going to drill like 5 wells, but that's the first phase of a project that's going to be well over 100 wells. So we're hoping to wrap that up now. The man we're working with has 30 years plus experience working for major oil companies, very well known in the state of Texas, and he's going to be working with us to develop these fields. He's one of the best experts in the field, and we're going to have him. So we're excited about that.
Awesome. So I do have a question about the drone company before we end that. I think you mentioned that you're working or has worked with military entities and government entities. Do you have any ambitions in expanding that in the military field?
Absolutely. It's really, things start in the military actually, and then they trickle down to law enforcement and other areas. But when you look at the capabilities of this technology, it's really, like I said before, surveillance and reconnaissance. And one of the biggest problems out there is, warfare has become high tech, and force protection is key because, the enemy has ways of finding you, and an early detection is important. So to be able to have drones cover your positions and being able to go out and have capabilities to look out, miles ahead and pick up potential threats is kind of important. So this type of technology, using drones, is for this purpose. It's out there now. We think our product can do that very well, and protect our people. So yeah, we are looking at the military. I don't know where we are with that at this point. Basically in the phase now where I'm trying to close this acquisition. So, in terms of new prospects, that will come. I like the orders we have in place now, but yeah, it obviously has military mission with some of these products, and we're going to hopefully get that opportunity to show our wares to the powers that be and see if they're interested. Sure.
I want to briefly recap. So, what day did you take over RENI and start revamping the company?
Wow. That's a good question. I think it's been 4 years now.
4 years?
Yeah. It was supposed
And when did it become active again recently?
it was active when we took them over. And we had a property in Wyoming, which got sold. And basically, we were looking at this as a platform to expand and to go public with. It was always a reporting company, but it wasn't trading. And we looked at this and we loved the platform. Like you said before, we have 400 shareholders. It was a low float. It had all its audits. It was clean. And my partner and I, my partner John Bianco, who's the CEO of the company, we looked at this and said, this is a great opportunity. And we had a lot of commitments for people when we got our public symbol. because, as you know, a lot of investors want that kind of liquidity. They want to be able to buy and be able to get out of their stock. It's a good way to raise money. And we had a lot of people come to us and said, we like what you're doing, but until you get your symbol, because this company tried before to get a symbol years and years ago and never were able to quite do it. But when you get your symbol, we'll back you. And so we said that makes perfect sense. So we started through the process of working with FINRA to get our symbol, to get the company out and trading. And that was a process that I do not wish on my worst enemy. So
it's a long, drawn out, dragged out.
Well, we did this
very vanilla flavored process, isn't it?
It wasn't supposed to be, but we started this in it was like the middle of or just after COVID, and people were still working out of their homes, and then there was a big backlog, and a process that should have taken in the old days probably 6 months to 8 months. I don't know. This took a couple of years, when we got the program going. So it was only 3 or 4 months ago that we about 3 or 4 months ago that we got our symbol. And at that point we said, okay, now we're ready. And it was like one of those hurry up and wait. And then all of a sudden you get the symbol and now you're behind, So we got the symbol and all of a sudden we're behind everything. So we're looking at properties that we want to acquire. We went back to the people who promised us that once we had a trading symbol that they would back us. They stayed with us. Some went away. We got new people involved. And in the short order, 3 months later, we're ready to make our first acquisition. So it's a process. I don't wish anybody to go through what I went through. And it will not fail because I'm not doing this again. We're going to succeed because I'm not doing this again. This is it, man. And we're just really excited. We got a great team. We got great properties. We got people who want to back our play. And I think we're going to create a lot of value for the shareholders. We're going to build an exciting company, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So I'm very excited. And the hard work is going to pay off. Put it that way.
I believe so. It's already started to so far. Great targeted acquisition. I'm glad that it's going to be accretive to the bottom line for the company. Mm-hmm. And nice turnaround on the amount of time it took you to get after that from the time you announced it to everybody last time you were on the show. And keep in mind, everybody, that's been about 2.5 to 3 weeks ago. He announced that he was going to be going after an acquisition, did not say what it was. And here we are talking about it already.
Thank you.
And he said he's already going after another acquisition in the middle of it. That's awesome. I can't wait to hear about the next one. I can't wait to have you back on for that. Is there anything else in the near future that people should be looking out for or expecting out of RENI?
Yeah, well, what we're going to do is once we finish this acquisition, we get contracts in, we're going to be able to announce them so people can follow the kind of business we're doing. We're fully reporting. I wouldn't be excited on so much on the first quarter, but starting second quarter, I think people are going to be impressed. We'll be announcing our acquisitions. The only thing I can tell listeners is that we intend to be aggressive. We're not going to sit on our laurels. We're going to be looking to, how can we increase revenue? How can we get a return on our investment? And how can we make the shareholders happy? We're building a real company here. Like I said, we spent years preparing for this time, and we're going to capitalize on it. We see a lot of opportunity in the industries that we're looking at. We see the next few years as being very exciting in terms of growth. We think we're in the right place at the right time. We think we're scalable, and I think we're going to be a good company. So, if people are interested, please follow our website, ResilientEnergyInc.com, and we're going to keep the news on the website so you can follow us.
Everybody heard that? If you would, in the chat box, I'm going to add that as ResilientEnergy.com, correct?
Yes.
Repeat that.
ResilientEnergyInc.com.
Okay, I'm gonna add that in the chat box for everybody. Um,
You got that?
ResilientEnergyInc.com, and I posted a link to that in the chat. Everybody connected to this space, you can go there for more due diligence information and to be able to follow what's happening live with the company. Also, Mark, I believe that you've joined with Resilient Energy. Do you have your own Twitter account as well?
I'm sorry, say that again. I'm sorry.
Do you have your own Twitter account as well, or you just operate through
Yeah,
Resilient?
resilient underscore NRG.
Everybody that's in here, if you would, or if you're listening to this recorded space later, please go and follow Resilient Energy Inc. and put on the notifications for updates. I mean, everybody's looking for a new hot play. This stock has, again, a super low float. I mean, we're talking about less than 5 million shares in the float. And that means it can move quickly. Stock's trading at 14 cents, and he's got acquisition that's about to be finalized. Another one that's in the works. I really think we're going to see some great things out of this company moving forward. But time will tell, and I look forward to having Mark on at a later date. Is there anything you want to say to anybody before we open up the floor to questions?
No, Josh, I just want to appreciate the opportunity to tell our story. So thank you, and I'll listen to answer any questions people might have.
Okay. Hey, does anybody have a question for Mark Pindus before we close out this section of our call?
I couldn't have spoken that well, but I'm glad I did. Okay.
I'm not sure what's going on today. The volume in the market was dead. It's just there's a lot of people missing, and I'm not sure why.
Huh. Well, I guess it happens. Maybe there's a Bruce Springsteen concert somewhere. That's what we used to say. So, okay.
Let me see what people said in the chat about it. So, T. Rick, do you have any questions for RENI? I know you're a supporter of the company. It says RENI Challenger past clients, Bell Helicopters, Airbus. CEO says that is a plus, and future developments could include some of these. I bet they will, but we'll find out, right?
We'll find out. We'll find out.
What else do you say?